All right, I openly admit I am a mess. At least I should say I'm messy. I'm not a mess, but when I go metal detecting, I bring stuff back and it just gets piled in my garage here. Well, my wife and I are moving, and it is time to finally scrap some of this metal that I've been collecting for so long. Big thing that I'm most excited to be scrapping is all this lead. I've done a couple videos on lead, its impact on the environment, and just the idea of getting this out of the streams that I find them in is just, it's very positive to me. So I'm glad to be doing this, and I've always expected to scrap this and hopefully it will be reused and repurposed into something that doesn't put it back into the streams. There are good uses for lead. We use them in our car batteries and other resources. So I'm super excited to get this recycled, make a little money from it. You can see here, I've got this box here, I've got that there, and we got two more boxes here filled with lead. So I got a lot of lead. I'm really curious to find out exactly how much I have. Quite confident it's over 100 pounds of lead that I've collected over roughly 7, 8, 9 years. I can't remember exactly how long. But I've also got, you can see a big bucket there of just iron scraps, horseshoes, and all kinds of doodads that we pick out of the farms we go into. Got another one here. This here more than likely is a train coupler loop. I might hang on to that. I've seen much bigger and better ones, but yeah. And over here I've got a bucket with just some odds and ends. I don't even know if they're going to take this, but there's some brass in there, some copper, some variety of things. I don't know if they're going to take that because that's not sorted too well, but we're going to see what happens here. Like I said, the big thing that I'm really interested in is the lead. I'm sure they're going to take the lead. I don't know what I'm going to get for it. I think roughly 40 cents a pound is what's going for these days. So I might have 40, 50, 60 bucks worth of lead there. We'll see. But off I go. I've got about a half-hour drive. I've never been to this recycling place before. It seems to be one of the closest ones. So off we go. We'll see how much we have.
So a couple thoughts about this scrap metal process. I thought there would be a need to sort the hard and soft lead. I've seen online where soft lead is worth more than hard lead. The place I went to didn't seem to care. They just weighed it all together and gave one flat rate per pound. Their lead rates weren't as good as I was expecting, but they were the closest place to me that was opened on a Saturday. They did take all of my metal. If you combine metals, however, they will give you the cheapest rate. I think they said that was a zinc rate. So if you have brass and copper, you probably want to have that sorted separately. I didn't get a lot for my iron, but I really didn't have a lot of iron to trade in. I get tired of digging and more so carrying iron once I have found it. If I'm in a farm field and I find a large plow piece or some other heavy item, I will usually bury it back in the ground. The practicality of getting it back to my car just doesn't always work out. However, I'm maybe more encouraged to build a larger collection of iron for scrap purposes in the future. As for the lead, I basically traded in all the lead I have found with the exception of my Civil War bullets, musket balls, and a few other interesting pieces like a printing plate. The vast majority of that lead came out of the streams in the form of sinkers. On one trip this past summer, Jill and I made a bet as to who could find the most lead. I found 12 pounds of lead alone. Together we found over 20. That was an area we had been to before where we knew we would find lots of sinkers. I feel it is just one small way where I can help while enjoying metal detecting. I feel good when I get lead out of the waterways. So just how much lead did I cash in? A few years ago I did a video on lead, and at the time I was roughly at 60 pounds of lead. To my surprise, the total weight of lead, including the boxes, was 194 pounds. They subtracted 4 pounds for the weight of the boxes. So let's call it 190 pounds of lead.